So I am here in the basement of 18 Mortimer Street, just off Regent Street, with Julie Ford, the inventor and creator of Instepp.
That's correct.
Tell me more about Instepp.
London has been given the first ever national park city status.
London, the world's first national park city.
Come and enjoy, because life's too short, really and truly.
And London, wow, what an amazing city.
So, greener,
healthier,
and wilder.
Right, so I have been a PE teacher for over 48 years and still currently teaching very part-time, but I'm passionate about movement and teaching, and I would love everybody to feel as good as I do every day. The reason Instepp was invented, my mum used to say to me, necessity is the mother of all invention. Well, sadly, I had a brush with cancer, and although I was perfectly well, fit and healthy, I went back to the gym and I sat there and I thought, I really don't want to be indoors. I want to be outside and walking in the free, fresh air, but still keeping my upper body strong. So I thought, right, let's start walking with weights. They were too heavy, you couldn't increase the weight. And then I thought, right, I found some resistance tubing in the garage. So I made a pair of them, just slipped them under my Instepp and tied them around my hands, but found after a while they created blisters on the feet and they cut off the blood supply to the hands. So back to the drawing board. And I have a friend who's a very clever seamstress, and I found a redundant wetsuit, and we decided to sort of try that out. It had to be strong, but soft, supple. And the outcome was a little pad under the foot, a stirrup, which was attached to a single band and a foam handle at the top. Hence, Instepp was manufactured as a pair of walking resistance bands.
So how long was that? Process?
Right. It was quite quick, really. I had the idea, and I think from the idea, the concept and getting it manufactured and out there would have been a year.
Wow.
So 2018, I sort of had the idea. Fortunately, I knew somebody that was already into manufacturing, so that was a great help, because you never know who you're going to, trust, or, are they viable? And 2019 in March, I launched the Eastbourne Lifestyle Show.
Okay.
So at 65, I didn't retire. I restarted.
Yeah.
And although I'm still teaching, this has taken over quite a lot of my time.
Yeah.
And I love it. As I say, I'm just passionate about. It's so easy to feel good, very simply. I think everybody tries too hard. There's too many quick fixes. We're pressurised into running marathons and climbing Mount Everest. When for sustainability, to exercise, you have to do it little and often. The biggest barrier, there's two. One is the door, going out to a gym or whatever, or financially. Whereas with Instepp, you can do it indoors or out, by yourself, with family and friends. You can be sitting at your laptop and you can get up every hour, walk around with a bit of strengthening. So basically, it's a 2-in-1 cardio with strengthening workout.
That's it. So I don't know if you could tell, I'm a big walker, but never been to a gym. So the concept of resistance training, I kind of heard the term, but I don't. What would be the sort of benefits for me or for anyone, really? Are there?
Well, resistance training, whether it's with weights or the resistance bands, they did experiments about all the different type of training, and resistance training is the best for building strength, and you still maintain flexibility.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily build bulk, because everybody thinks about weight training, with weights. and you build bulk. Well, you can, but it takes hours of exercise, steroids, you name it, massive high protein diet. It's not easy to get to that size, and that's extreme. But for everyday, everybody should be fit for their everyday life. So as long as you can move and fit in your lifestyle, then that's what you should aim for, and not extremes.
Yeah, there's the cardio element. I think is really important. We had a conference a few weeks ago, right at the start, where we got a walking festival, and so we had lots of different doctors and things, and we had Annabelle Abs as well.
yes,
Was talking
yeah.
about sort of cardio benefits, and just preventing kind of all diseases, really, of actually within your day or within your walk having just sort of even 5 minutes of sort of cardio exercise
Yeah.
that can be achieved
Yeah.
through walking. There's absolutely massive benefits from that.
Benefits of walking, fresh air, the audio, the visual, sensory, everything, smell, that stimulates the feel-good factor. And health and well-being is not just absence of illness, but presence of vitality.
Yeah.
And I feel very blessed. Now, whether or not because I've always walked as a child, my dad used to take me on walks. My job has been exercise, but I am so full of energy, and I don't know whether it's because I have produced that through walking or
Yeah.
whether I had it innately and that's made me carry on. But I have adapted over my life period. I've tried everything.
Yeah.
But again, the importance of cardio, obviously, yes, it's so important, and strength is as well. Because as you get older, if you haven't got strength, you become very fragile, vulnerable. And, strength training can produce flexibility. It's an all-rounded way of moving, of exercise.
That's it. So you have had some studies done as well.
I have. I was tested at the University of Brighton, dressed up like Darth Vader with the old mask on.
Already.
Measuring blood level, sugars.
Also, they tested on you. It wasn't just
Yes.
random. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
On me. And I did it with and without Instepp. I did
Okay.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
And there was a 30% improvement of doing the two together.
Okay.
So it's a benefit, just that. And the other thing I'm passionate about is exercise snacking or non-exercise activity time. So while you're watching the TV, if the adverts come on, I know we can press pause and go out and make a cup of tea, but I recommend you just get up and down out of your chair for about 3 minutes. If you do that, it's tiring enough, but if you have Instepp with you where you're using resistance above your head,
Yeah.
I would challenge anybody a minute,
Yeah.
and it's pretty exhausting. But it's being able to move and get out of your chair. That is so important.
I like that term in.
Yeah.
Exercise
Snacking.
Exercise snacking.
Yeah, or
I've not had-
NEAT, non-exercise activity time.
no, it's-
So it's no pressure. You don't have to go out.
Yeah.
And my Instepp has got these. This was the second invention, which was made very quickly. Double-ended bulldog clips. So you attach one to your clothing, one to the handle, so you can keep it on all day long. You can lay on the floor in the morning and stretch with it, go down to your desk, then unclip from the handle, off you go around the garden. Oh, they're amazing. You just keep them on all the time. So it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. It's part of you. And that's the best thing about them.
That's brilliant. So we're going to go out for a little walk later. What can we expect?
Lots of people looking at you very strangely.
Brilliant.
This is what I would say the sticking point, because of, perhaps this is a general term, but the UK, I always say they are leaders. Sorry, they're followers, not leaders. It took Nordic walking 10 years to get recognised in the UK.
Yeah.
And people are very embarrassed about being looked at.
I think it's still a sort of underused term as well. Nordic walking. I kind of you don't really hear much about it. Every now and then you come across it, but I don't think it's properly there in the zeitgeist.
No.
I think
And you go to Europe, and it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, and it is resistance walking. You know, you're stretching and pulling back, but it's great for balance if you're doing mountainous regions.
Yeah.
But as I say, with Instepp, it's so easy because you can stop and you can just clip it on. You don't have to keep doing it. But I know so many people say, oh, well, I don't want to use it because people will look at me. So I say, well, in my experience, people do look. And 9 out of 10 people, if I've been stopped, say, what is it? That looks great.
Yeah.
Not, you look stupid. And, you know, we're all different and I don't care what people think, you know.
Yeah.
If I'm getting benefit, then why not?
I think there's just a benefit about doing anything as a group. And it's any interest if you, you know, and when you go out, I think there's a safety, but maybe the safety is just sort of a comfort thing as well.
Yeah.
And then what we've done throughout the month is have lots of different events, lots of big groups, exploring different areas, doing talks and everything like that. And it is always nice doing that as a group. And even I'm a photographer by trade.
Oh.
So we've done kind of photo walks before where, and you might be taking pictures in public where you might not be comfortable doing it on their own.
Yes.
And in fact, Footways, who we work with as well, create lovely little walking maps. They did a walk with a group of women, kind of Muslim women, and they're a photography group, and they actually went out and they went into spaces that, in their mind at least, they didn't feel comfortable in, and certainly not on their own, or they felt they needed permission to go into. But when you have that as a group dynamic, and they're going together as a group, it's quite.
It builds
lovely.
confidence.
Yeah.
Yes, and totally. And I was going to talk about another guy. I don't know if you know him, Dr. William Bird,
Rings a bell.
who is a blaze trailer of. He's from Intelligent Health, and he works with the government. And these walks are amazing. What's the concept of all these walks now? And the biggest key word is motivation.
Yeah.
We all have different motivations. Now, these setups of these walks are fantastic because there's theatre, isn't there? There's trees, there's post boxes, there's everything. So again, you can go for a walk and be interested in it and you don't know you're walking. Now, he gave a great example of Bob, who lived in Liverpool, who was very overweight. His wife had left him, he'd lost his job, he lived in a high-rise flat, used the lift, never did anything. And his mate Fred said, yeah, Anfield, they're going to give you 50% off your football ticket if you walk over a mile to the ground.
Oh, okay.
Well, he was into that.
Yeah.
And although it was only a mile or 2 miles a week, but he said that is the motivation. And that always sticks in my mind. And I think it's incredible that all these walks are being developed.
There's we were talking about parkrun and people kind of walking, and I'm trying to think. I think I saw a thing the other day, and I think it was the Eden Project.
Oh,
and so if you're involved in a parkrun, then you can get free entrance to the Eden Project.
Incentives,
so those are like the perfect incentives. But what you were talking about, you can do parkrun, but you can walk.
Yeah, they slowly are increasing. Again, sometimes there's still a pressure for people, even though you're not pressured to run. You see everybody shoot off in front of you when you're walking or tottering along, and you feel intimidated. Whereas now there are a lot more people that are walking, which I think is brilliant. And eventually they may end up running, but they don't have to. The pressure's not there.
Okay.
So, yeah. So long may it last.
So you were a PE teacher, is that right?
Yeah.
So what sort of ages did you do?
Well, I was trained for 11 to 18.
Okay.
But I have taught from 4 to 18. And I also teach or work with retirement villages for the 85s. And I tell you what, those people have got more vitality than 20-year-olds. They are amazing. They're inspirational. Yeah. But again, it's finding something that they like to do. And walking, everybody can walk.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Everybody can walk. So that is why it is so important. And if you add resistance training with it and strength, then that to me is a double whammy.
I think because it's an important thing, and I think a lot with teenagers or young teenagers when they're like 13, 14, and with social media and everything, they're starting to like get into weights and all this sort of stuff. So one of the questions is like how you kind of guide them away for, I don't know, what feels like safer sort of strength training.
This is, it fills me with dread. It fills me with dread. But another thing is, as a PE teacher, and I started in 1976, we had PE specialists in junior schools. And there's another doctor, Amy Bantham, who has got a company called Move More to Live More. And she's trying to increase movement within schools or walk into your bus stop and all that sort of thing to keep children healthy. You've got to have a blueprint. And I reckon I had that blueprint in me. From the age of 4, children should be taught to crawl, climb, skip, jump, anything like that, basic movements, using their own body weight. And then that is built up during their school life. And then weight training and all these specialists can come in and direct them to the clubs. But we're in a, marketing, consumerism, these body beautifuls that are everywhere on social media.
That's true.
It's a very hard battle for teenagers too. And I did an article for the Daily Mirror about the Gen Z generation.
Gen Z, okay.
Are nowhere near as fit as the over 60s.
Yeah.
And I said exactly that. You've got to have a blueprint. And we were always walked to school, cycled.
I was going to say it starts with a simple thing like walking to school. And especially in places like London, it's obviously different when you're out in the countryside, maybe. But there isn't too many excuses for not walking to school.
No, they make excuses because they say it's dangerous because of the cars. But if you walk to school, you wouldn't have all the cars.
Exactly.
And if you went to your local school, it's no more than a mile away.
No, that's true. That's true.
But again, we are given the choice to choose other schools, even though you are bottom of the list. It's very complex. There's lots of social, the world has changed.
Yeah.
Social media is massive, as we know, and so influential.
Yeah.
And we just need to guide it to the positive and, get people's feelings about themselves back, to be who you are and the best of who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, one thing I've been thinking of, a few years ago, I did the Ride London cycle ride that followed the Olympic route. And
fantastic, yeah.
And I got quite a big, like heavy bike. I don't know what it's like, a hybrid bike.
Oh, yeah.
But I was using that to cycle maybe 5 miles to work every day. And then for the actual event, and I'd never cycled 100 miles at all. The furthest I'd done is like 35 miles. So I probably shouldn't have signed up for a 100-mile cycle ride. But I actually hired like a proper lightweight racing bike. And I found I was so amazed by using this lightweight cycle bike, and I was absolutely flying. And I thought, well, actually, I'd kind of done the heavy training. It felt like, well, you could call it, I guess it is resistance training,
That's
really,
right.
isn't it? And I've done it on the heavy bike. It felt like doing high altitude training. And then we get on a race bike, it's all
easy.
a bit easier.
Yeah.
So I speak to a lot of people, and I'm thinking more my kind of parents' age, who are kind of like in their 70s, and they kind of want to do longer walks and they want to join groups and things. And you've got groups like the Ramblers, and there's always a slight apprehension that they want to go do that on a Monday afternoon, but they're worried that it's 10K, it might be quite fast. The Ramblers, regardless of age, some of them go at a fast pace.
They do, yes. Very serious.
When you get young people involved in these group walks, it's all a bit slower, but the retired Ramblers absolutely fly. I like the idea of kind of having, training for kind of building up your distances.
Resistance. Well, if you look, I mean, it has been used with tennis players resistance bands. You
okay.
can do that. And baseball, I don't know if you've ever seen a baseball match, and they put all these metal little weights on their baseball bat at the beginning
Oh, okay.
to warm up. So it's really heavy. So when they come to play the match, their bat is like they just touch it and it goes. And it's like you said about you trained in a heavier bike.
Yeah.
So you then went and found, oh, that's easy. Yeah. Yeah. Resistance training. Yeah. It's great.
Brilliant. All right. So I think we're gonna head outside and try them out.
Okay.
Let's go.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come and enjoy, because life's too short, really and truly.
And London, wow. What an amazing city.
So, greener,
healthier,
And wilder.